The rise of Japan gave birth to some of the most renowned automotive corporations globally: Toyota, Mitsubishi, and Nissan. Yet these large companies are known to compete in one of the most competitive industries ever. There are car makers from South Korea to Europe, the United States, and now, the emergence of China. The other renowned corporations of Japan, however, stand out the most: its tech giants. Japan's tech giants are well known. These are the names of Sony, Nintendo, and newer companies like Rakuten and Line. These companies, especially Sony and Nintendo, have created their own platforms. Sony's famous gaming consoles only compete head-to-head with one other competitor, Microsoft, whereas Nintendo has carved up an entire new platform itself, which made it one of the world's richest companies. But how did this start? How did Japan's technological giants become such a global success? Well, let's first start this with Sony, followed by Nintendo. Sony was founded in 1946 in Tokyo by Akio Morita and Masaru Ibuka, initially as Tokyo Telecommunications Engineering Corporation, Totsuken. The company emerged from the ashes of World War II, a time when Japan was in desperate need of economic revitalization. Morita, a young engineer, and Ibuka, an entrepreneur, shared a vision of creating innovative products that would contribute to Japan's recovery. The first product, a simple rice cooker, failed to gain traction, but it did not deter the founders. In 1950, Sony developed Japan's first magnetic tape recorder, the Type G, which caught the attention of radio stations and recording companies. This marked Sony's initial foray into the electronics market and established its reputation for quality. In 1955, Sony released the TR-55 transistor radio, becoming the first company in Japan to manufacture and sell transistor radios. This product represented a significant breakthrough in portability and affordability, allowing consumers to enjoy music on the go. The TR-55's success not only helped Sony gain international recognition, but also contributed to the global adoption of transistor technology. Akio Morita's vision extended beyond product innovation. He understood the importance of marketing. In 1960, he launched the Sony brand globally, moving away from the less marketable name of Tokyo Telecommunications Engineering Corporation. This rebranding aligned the company's identity with its innovative spirit and set the stage for its future endeavors. The 1960s marked the beginning of Sony's expansion into consumer electronics. In 1968, the company launched the world's first direct-view portable color television, the KV-1310. This innovation demonstrated Sony's commitment to combining technology with consumer needs. By the end of the 1970s, Sony was recognized as a leader in consumer electronics. The introduction of the Sony Walkman in 1979 revolutionized how people listened to music. This portable cassette player allowed users to enjoy their favorite tapes on the move, fundamentally changing music consumption. The Walkman was not just a product. It became a cultural phenomenon that represented the merging of technology and lifestyle. Its success laid the groundwork for future innovations in portable media. As the 1980s progressed, Sony diversified its operations by entering the entertainment sector. In 1987, Sony acquired CBS Records, marking its first major step into the music industry. This acquisition expanded Sony's portfolio beyond electronics and into content creation and distribution. The gaming industry presented another significant opportunity for Sony. In 1994, the company launched the PlayStation, a 32-bit video game console that quickly gained popularity due to its advanced graphics and innovative design. The PlayStation was a game-changer in the gaming industry, establishing Sony as a formidable competitor against established companies like Nintendo and Sega. As the new millennium began, Sony faced several challenges that would test its resilience and adaptability. The rapid advancement of technology and changing consumer preferences posed significant threats to its traditional business model. In the early 2000s, Sony struggled to compete in the consumer electronics market against competitors such as Samsung and LG, who were able to produce high-quality products at lower prices. In response, Sony began to shift its focus from hardware to content and services. The company aimed to integrate its hardware offerings with its entertainment content, capitalizing on its strong presence in music, movies, and gaming. This strategy was further solidified with the acquisition of Columbia Pictures in the late 1980s, which allowed Sony to expand its influence in the entertainment industry. One of the most significant developments in Sony's 21st century history has been the continued success of its PlayStation brand. The launch of the PlayStation 3 in 2006 marked a pivotal moment. Although it initially struggled with high pricing and competition from Microsoft's Xbox 360, Sony adapted its strategy by expanding its online services and integrating Blu-ray technology into the console. The PlayStation Network, launched in 2006, allowed users to access online, gaming, and digital content, creating a new revenue stream for the company. By focusing on high-quality exclusive titles such as Uncharted and The Last of Us, Sony eventually regained its competitive edge, making the PlayStation 3 one of the best-selling consoles of its generation. The early 2010s were marked by significant restructuring efforts at Sony as the company sought to streamline operations and improve profitability. In 2012, Kazuo Hirai became CEO and initiated a turnaround plan focused on three key areas: the PlayStation brand, image sensors, and entertainment content. Hirai's leadership was characterized by a commitment to innovation and collaboration across Sony's various business segments. The company began to emphasize its expertise in sensor technology, leveraging its strengths in imaging to supply components for smartphones and other devices. The launch of the PlayStation 4, PS4, in 2013 marked a significant success for Sony. With a focus on powerful hardware and user-friendly interfaces, the PS4 quickly became a favorite among gamers. The console's emphasis on social gaming features and exclusive titles such as Bloodborne and God of War helped it outsell its competitors, including Microsoft's Xbox One. The success of the PS4 revitalized Sony's gaming division, contributing significantly to the company's overall financial recovery. By 2020, the PS4 had sold over 110 million units, becoming one of the best-selling consoles in history. In November 2020, Sony launched the PlayStation 5, PS5, introducing advanced features such as ray tracing, a custom SSD for faster load times, and an innovative controller with haptic feedback and adaptive triggers. The PS5 received critical acclaim and quickly became a commercial success, facing high demand and supply shortages due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The PS5's launch reaffirmed Sony's dominance in the gaming market, demonstrating the company's ability to innovate and adapt to changing consumer expectations. As the 2000s approached, Sony began exploring new technologies and markets. The company made significant investments in artificial intelligence, robotics, and virtual reality, aiming to diversify its portfolio and position itself for future growth. In 2021, Sony announced its intention to develop next-generation virtual reality systems, with the goal of enhancing the gaming experience and expanding its offerings in immersive technology. Following Sony, Nintendo was established on September 23, 1889, by Fusajiro Yamauchi in Kyoto, Japan. Initially, it operated as a playing card company, producing handmade Hanafuda cards, a traditional Japanese card game. The business flourished in the late 19th and early 20th centuries, gaining popularity as a source of entertainment for families and social gatherings. During the early 20th century, Nintendo began to diversify its offerings, experimenting with different forms of entertainment. In the 1930s, it expanded into the production of toys, and during the post-World War II period, it explored various business ventures, including running a taxi service and even a love hotel. However, none of these ventures proved to be particularly successful. In the 1960s, under the leadership of Hiroshi Yamauchi, Fusajiro's great-grandson, Nintendo made a significant shift towards the burgeoning video game industry. The company initially experimented with arcade games, launching EVR Race in 1966, which allowed players to bet on horse races using a coin-operated arcade machine. The turning point came in 1977, when Nintendo released the Color TV game, a home console that featured built-in games. This marked Nintendo's entry into the home gaming market, although it was still relatively low-key compared to what was to come. The release of the family computer, or Famicom, in Japan in 1983 was a pivotal moment in Nintendo's history. The Famicom was a home video game console that quickly gained immense popularity. It offered interchangeable cartridges which allowed players to enjoy a variety of games. The success of the Famicom laid the foundation for Nintendo's dominance in the gaming market. In 1985, Nintendo launched the Nintendo Entertainment System in North America, effectively revitalizing the gaming industry after the crash of 1983. The NES became a household name, with iconic games like Super Mario Bros., The Legend of Zelda, and Metroid. These titles not only showcased the potential of video games, but also established Nintendo as a leader in the industry. The 1990s saw Nintendo continue its momentum with the launch of the Super Nintendo Entertainment System, SNES, in 1990. The SNES featured enhanced graphics and sound capabilities, allowing for more complex and immersive games. Titles like Super Mario World, The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past, and Street Fighter II became classics, further solidifying Nintendo's reputation. In 1996, Nintendo entered the 3D gaming era with the release of the Nintendo 64. The console was notable for its revolutionary 3D graphics and introduced the innovative analog stick controller, which enhanced gameplay experiences. Despite its successes, Nintendo faced significant challenges in the early 2000s with the rise of competitors like Sony's PlayStation 2 and Microsoft's Xbox. The GameCube, released in 2001, struggled to compete with the more powerful consoles, leading to a decline in market share. However, Nintendo pivoted its strategy by focusing on innovative gameplay rather than just graphics. In 2006, the launch of the Wii console marked a significant shift in the gaming landscape. The Wii introduced motion-sensing controls, making gaming more accessible and appealing to a broader audience, including families and casual gamers. Titles like Wii Sports became cultural phenomena, showcasing the console's unique capabilities and helping Nintendo regain its position in the market. As gaming technology evolved, Nintendo continued to adapt. The release of the Nintendo 3DS in 2011 introduced glasses-free 3D gaming, while the Wii U in 2012 aimed to enhance multiplayer experiences with its unique gamepad controller. Despite these innovations, the Wii U struggled to capture market share against its competitors. In 2017, Nintendo made a significant comeback with the launch of the Nintendo Switch, a hybrid console that could be used both as a home console and a portable device. The Switch's versatility and strong lineup of games, including The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild and Super Mario Odyssey, propelled it to immense success. The Switch became one of the fastest-selling consoles in history, solidifying Nintendo's place in the modern gaming industry. The rise of both Nintendo and Sony has segmented Japan as the leading platforms for the video gaming industry. There are only a few companies out there right now that have changed an entire industry just like these two. One of the reasons why Japan has been so successful in such an industry is because of their culture. Their culture has a long-standing tradition of play, storytelling, and entertainment. From traditional games like Go and Hanafuda to kabuki theater and anime, the Japanese have always valued interactive and engaging forms of entertainment. This cultural predisposition laid a strong foundation for the acceptance and growth of video games as a legitimate form of entertainment. But anyway, do let us know what you think. Thanks for watching.